Alright, let's get things straight first off. Gotta give credit where it's due, and it goes out to a buddy of mine named Chakra. They gave me this footage of Borderlands 4. With that out of the way, why the fuck am I saying Borderlands 4 is a joke? Well, to answer that question, my friend, Borderlands 4 is about half of what I expected it to be. That is a stuttering mess with multiple people reporting crashing and being completely unable to move past the main menu. Even my friend was able to account for that, with his friends also being unable to do that, as he told me. And of course, it has fucking de nouveau. As I said, it's only half of what I expected it to be. Borderlands 4, however, is not $80, as the fuckbeard Randy Pitchford was claiming the game would be. Borderlands 4 is the oh-so-piss-poor price of 70 buckaroos, which, you know, I do know that's the way the new video games have been for a while now, but I think most video games I've played that are $70 are not worth that price. Games like Forspoken, Redfall, and even the day before are extreme cases of such. Most other $70 games are better than those, but still give diminishing returns compared to before. But I digress. Since this video is about Borderlands 4 in particular, that's the focus of today's video. So anyway, back on topic, Borderlands 4's optimization is truly a fucking train wreck. The game barely manages 60 FPS even on an RTX 5090. You legit have to turn the settings all low and it reaches closer, but it does not get actual 60 FPS. It is an absolute fucking disgrace to be releasing a game like this when Borderlands 4 has had so many years since Borderlands 3 to get this shit right. What's even worse is that apparently even Borderlands 3 ran like shit on release, so it's not even all that surprising that Borderlands 4 is like this. But anyways, let's get into the important stuff. So there's this article from Tom's Hardware, which I'm going to read the important bits for. Borderlands 4 has arrived on PC to a chorus of criticism over performance and stuttering. Just one day after launch, Steam user reviews show as mixed as early reports from players describe low frame rates and frequent crashes even on high-end hardware. Terrible optimization. Another Unreal Engine 5 casualty. Not worth buying in its current state unless you have a NASA PC, wrote Steam user Reg. Meanwhile, on X, a player claimed that their RTX 5090 couldn't maintain 60 FPS even with the settings turned down, and other anecdotal reports have echoed complaints of stutter, texture pop-in, and unresponsive controls. There's this Twitter post by Amit Roy, says, Borderlands 4 can't reach 60 FPS on a freaking RTX 5090 with those graphics. The more I see these types of PC ports, the PC gaming career in me dies bit by bit. And as you can see, this image here, this optimization is unacceptable. If you look on the top left over here, it shows all the stats you need to know, mainly being the average FPS is 46 on a fucking 5090. You're joking, right? What the actual hell? That's genuinely the worst I've seen a game in so long now. The article goes further to say, independent benchmarks back up those anecdotes. DSO Gaming's test on a Ryzen 9 7950X 3D paired with an RTX 5090 saw frame rates dip to 40 to 43 FPS 4K at badass settings indoors. Enabling DLS4 quality mode brought the average closer to 60 FPS, but the outdoor traversal still produced a noticeable stutter. So let's check out those benchmarks. Clicking the benchmarks link leads us to this performance analysis by John Papp. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm not fucking Spanish. On DSO Gaming says, Borderlands 4 does not have a benchmarking tool like Borderlands 3 did. That's pretty disappointing, honestly. He goes on to say that in the spot where RJ asks you to find his stash, this area is the most demanding early game. At native 4K with badass settings, the game Borderlands 4 runs with 40 to 43 FPS on the NVIDIA RTX 5090. Supplied with a chart here and the image of each resolution's frames at 4K, minimum and average frames. Going on to say that with DLSS 4, the RTX 5090 can provide a constant 60 FPS on 4K with badass settings, and lumen lighting is what they used as a form of ray tracing, which, surprise, surprise, that's one of the many reasons the game runs like ass, which if any of you are saying, well, the game runs fine with DLSS 4. Alright, fuckers, I see how it is. Come here. If you want to play the game like that, go ahead, but DLSS 4 is terrible fucking image quality compared to native, and you fucking know it. And even looking further at this FPS sheet, it's fucking tragic that we have to use both DLSS 4 and FrameGen to actually get closer to a remotely good frame rate, which these days we're going above fucking 165, more like 240 on high-end hardware, yet our high-end hardware can't run Borderlands 4 without lowering the quality of the game and putting massive input lag on just so we can play the game comfortably, because because these fucking developers can't get a grip. Personally speaking, any game I play, I turn that shit off because it's generally worse than seeing pixels to me. But going back on topic, the 5090 is not only not able to retain a constant frame rate on native, which is fucking tragic considering games used to do that no problem, but you know, a 5090 is supposed to be one of the best cards on the market, and with the way this game is optimized, I seriously fucking doubt if they change the lighting that would make the game run consistently, because these cards should be getting way above 60 FPS entirely. So even running 4K at only 60, even with DLSS on, is still bad considering the type of card it is. DLSS and FrameGen are supposed to make obtaining frames easier, and it's not that they don't do that here, but it's not nearly as much as it should be. So you can bet the game runs like ass, and I can prove that it does too, because the friend that provided me the footage for this video has his 4070 Super and a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. He runs the game on medium settings, not even badass, and on DLSS, and can't get the game above 55 FPS, his average being 50. Now, I don't know if you know, but a 4070 Super should be getting way more than that with DLSS turned on. Not to mention, if you look closely, he still gets that stutter that was mentioned. Despite how all that is, my friend who had this gameplay says the game is pretty good aside from the optimization, and I don't doubt that. I think it looks pretty good, that said. Do I think you should buy this game while it's in this state? Absolutely fucking not.
And it's only made worse by Randy Pitchford's ramblings, but save that for the next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you liked this video, please leave a like and comment because that helps out a lot. Thank you for watching.